Free now. Okay, so here we go. So yep, we have the change in Canada. Not too good for myself, but we have a rate hike in Canada. It's 1% now, second in a row. And they probably are, well, they cannot stay way behind the US, especially with all the little agreement they have there. And we can see it also going hand by hand with the oil rise. So all that put some pressure on the central bank, and yep, we have the hike. But we have so many interesting pairs. So dollar CAD is only one of them, which we will discuss, by the way. It starts to be very interesting. And for those of you, by the way, for those of you who were after the investments, this is going to be most likely one of them, and I will want to discuss about it soon. So let's start go over our list, guys, and where is that? Where is that? Where is that? My report. All right, here we go. The majority of the pairs are unchanged. The euro dollar still same, the euro pound still same, the pound dollar still same. No real changes on that. Pound dollar, you remember, guys, from yesterday, very very simple. As long as we hold that and we don't have lower lows, pressure remains bullish. That's all. We keep it simple and it continues simple. And we have the euro pound, which we expect, of course, keep pushing lower and lower a bit. There are, however, few changes that we need to cover, okay, and few add-ons that we need to cover as well to our list. So let's begin. The first one, the first change, that's actually not change, but update we have is the euro versus the kiwi. Now we have this correction to the upside that's happening in two waves. So basically and technically, just a reminder, as long as we are below these highs, our direction would be looking for the sells. Okay, very simple. As long as we are below the last highs, we are aiming to the downside. And we have the correction right now, so we are good to go. The next one, yeah, the last high is our invalidation. Exactly. At this stage, our last high is the invalidation. Now, normally, invalidation can mean that we are switching from sells to buys or from sells to both directions tradable. In that case, it will be from sells to neutral. For one reason, because if it breaks this high, there is still a very, very good chance this is going to be a false break due to the very powerful levels we have. And from there, we're going to continue lower. So if we break here, it will be just to put us back to neutral, okay, and not to any other direction. Okay, so the last high here is the invalidation. All right. So that's for the Euro Kiwi. Then we have the Aussie Kiwi. Now Aussie Kiwi, we are after longs, right? We got a beautiful down move, and we are for longs here. I just want to show you guys one scenario that could happen. So far, two waves, we are bullish. Okay. The only one scenario that could switch that and change this view would be, guess what? If that turns to be 1, 2, 3, and we get this 1, 2 correction after that to be broken. Now, if we get this 1, 2, 3, it's time to be a bit more careful and basically switch to neutral. As long as we don't, our plan was and remains bullish, and we are after 113. Questions about that? Any questions, guys, about this one? All right, great. The next one then on the list that we have the update for. Let me just find it. Okay. Dollar yen, well, our view was and remained yesterday, you remember, right? As long as we are above this area, we are after buys. And if this invalidation takes place by breaking the last low, it would become tradable for both directions. Don't forget that. Okay? It's and the reason we show it right now is just due to the fact we are close to the low, and we need to follow and see carefully where it takes us to from here. Okay, so that's a quick update here. Pound yen bullish, no changes. We continue the rally. Pound kiwi also no changes. We got a beautiful pull back down yesterday. It was in this pattern movement. Okay, we got it 1, 2, and a spike continuation. So no change for us here. Pound CAD. You remember yesterday, guys, both directions are tradable for us. And due to the news now, again, it's not due to anything else. Due to the news now, we are pushing lower. Now it's time to enjoy the bears, but also don't forget that we are here running probably closer to the end. This gap is going to be closed, most likely. We are talking about below 158. And there is a very good chance that this would be the place for a false break to be created. Trendline false break, horizontal false break, and from that we're gonna switch to the buy direction. So as for now, breaking the last low brings us only sales, of course, and the invalidation for such scenario would remain, well, currently this is the only invalidation because that's the last valid high we have. Okay, we will most likely develop this trend line, and as long as it will hold, then we can trail it to this high to be invalidation level. But as for now, our current invalidation for the short scenario is only this high, around 163.50. Okay, so that's for the pound Canadian update. You sure there, Jay? That's good. That's good. That's good. Enjoy. Enjoy. That's good. Okay, guys, let's continue. What else we had on our list? Okay, New Zealandian yen. We have the both directions, but currently you can see what it brings us to, guys, right? This is a range currently with very, very ugly moves. So, yep, both directions are acceptable. Do we have any real good setup currently? We can trade here. The answer would be for that, no, we don't, unfortunately. So we simply don't do nothing here. Okay, we have it for list. We have it both directions we want to trade. But oh, sorry, what's that? That's New Zealand and franc. Where is my here? New Zealand and yen. Okay, and again, both are classical and possible. Of course, we will want to see the break above the trend lines, or at least higher highs to start to be created to gain some momentum. Same with lows, at least for lower lows. But currently, with all the wish to trade, we generally have nothing to do. Next one I want to go over would be the Aussie dollar. Now Aussie dollar is where is that? Disappeared. Aussie dollar here. Aussie dollar is very tricky on the last couple of days. Why? Because it invalidated the view for shorts. Now we have this last low relevant to be invalidation. By the way, who can tell me why not this one? Why this low isn't good? Who can tell me that? Let me enlarge the chart a bit. Exactly, John, good, very good, very good. Two candles rule, right? This correction, is it valid? No, because it all stuck inside this one candle. Therefore, all that is not a move. So our previous invalidation is only here. Very good, guys. So we remain long here, expecting 082 as the next possible target, right? But I want to show you what is a possible scenario for this ugly movement pair. We had a false break on the top, we had false break on the bottoms, and it created for us a range. That was the false break from top, that was the false break from the lows here. These lows were false broken, and it creates for us this range. Break below this low could invalidate the longs and bring us again to both tradable scenarios. So false break here and a rally, or a breakout and continuation for further correction. So currently we want to find only buy opportunities, of course, after pullbacks, which we have currently. If we do break here, it's basically the way of Mr. Market to tell us that we are in both direction now, and maybe even better would be just to avoid it. It's early to say now because we need to see how it behaves here, but basically this is the critical level, and from here it neither changes into range or make a deeper correction to us based on this cycle, of course. So something like 38.2. So Aussie dollar, with all the wish and the news we have this week on it, just not the best pair to trade. Just not there. Okay, so that's basically the update we have from pairs we currently discussed. We have few new to add on the list with the way they develop. Just want to remind you guys, gold and silver. Gold still bullish, no changes. Silver, this is the place. We have one false break, two false break. This is our low. If we go below that, our buy direction becomes neutral. We will want to see what's happening. Okay, remember that. It's very important. And it does feel like it's losing the pace a bit. Okay. For Euro Kiwi, well, Euro Kiwi here. Euro Kiwi targets are based on we have few, right? For Euro Kiwi, the targets are of this special cycle. So it could be anywhere in between 38 to 50, and the biggest one would be here. Double cycle, 1, 2, 38.2. That's 162 zone. Well, the best scenario would be, of course, this triple cycle to take us to 50. That's 159. Okay. Also definitely a doable scenario. Okay. But again, guys, remember, we have to be very, very specific here with our invalidation. Currently, the invalidation is here, and invalidation means, in that case, not back to buys or not back to sells, because we are on classical magnet zone of few cycles. That's a rare situation for these conditions, and that's why we have to be very specific. This could be just another false break for continuation down, and we have to pay attention to that. Okay, so that's why I wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. Low risk are very required here in such conditions. And also, small risk in such conditions are smart. Why? Because the reward down, if we correct reading this cycle, the reward down is huge. Just huge. Okay? That's the importance of that. Okay, so gold, silver updated. Oil, we remain bullish. You remember, you guys, we spoke about it many times. Indices, currently nothing on the American indices. We continue only with our European. We have our DAX sell rallies, which is currently fixing it a bit. We have the CAC, which we want to go for the sell rallies. Same story, nothing really changed. And of course, we have the FTSE that paid us again in this range, right? From this top. Beautiful move down over the 100 points. That's really nice. Okay, now add-ons, the additional pairs we have to the list in stocks, no changes. So we have few additional on the forex, which I want to cover. And let's start. The first one, New Zealandian dollar. Now we didn't trade this for. Oh, Jay, you already you already plan to leave? No. We have an odd add-ons, new ones on the list. Hold your horses. Patience. New Zealandian dollar. Now let's remind what we have on this one. Okay. That's the weekly cycle. Now, if we put here the cycles we had triple cycle up, double cycle down correction. Our 61.8 is here. This bounce is currently happening from very close to that, but this one could still be reached. Now, take a look on this one. The current move up with the correction. This is a daily cycle. This is last leg. It's one leg from weekly, which means it could be seen on the daily, and it does seen on the daily. This is a double cycle on the daily. And look where it brings us the magnet zone to. We have one here, one much higher, but it's currently irrelevant. Now this zone is definitely relevant. So what's going to happen here? According to weekly cycle, there is a very good chance that if this is a bottom, we are going to visit here, right? If this is the double cycle of the weekly that we trade, sorry, then we need to aim the 38.2, which is 0.70. Okay, so according to weekly, we have the room to 0.70, maybe even slightly lower. According to daily, we had double cycle up, we have double cycle down correction, which also fit the double cycle duplication on the 4-hour chart. We had a false break here, and we had a false break horizontal before. Another horizontal is here. Technically, we are very well set there, right? So for us, both directions start to be possibly tradable. We can look for the buy setups as long as this low holds and rally towards the magnet zone we have, right? The magnet zone we just saw. And if we break that, right, and we continue with the trend line, this trend line, then the bearish move can take us towards the 0.70 or maybe even slightly lower. So in New Zealandian dollar, we have clear read on two cycles, both correct, both tradable. So we need clear setups with the trend down or with the reversal system, and it gives us the chance to ride both directions here. So that's the New Zealandian dollar. The next one we have on the list is the dollar Canadian, the one we just saw at the beginning, breaking the lows and most likely taking us to the journey of the duplication. And remember, I told you guys, the investors of you, this is an amazing opportunity to start looking to get involved with. That should happen below this low, and that's most likely going to happen somewhere between 120 to 117, maybe even slightly lower. Now, if we combine this cycle with this little one we have, guess what we have here, guys? What are these conditions and situations we call it? How we call these situations? Who can complete me here? Right? That's this kind of situations here. That's a magnet zone, and that's a screaming zone. Boy, oh boy, what can we expect here? So stay tuned, stay ready. That would be classical place to start build up the buy positions. It could be anywhere in between 120 to 116, even as you can see here, 115 or 114. Therefore, bearish pressure remains on. We have the trend line and we have the resistance here, which becomes invalidation area. Now I want to show you one more thing here, guys, which we don't see quite often, but just want to make it clear here. We are for sales here, okay? We are for sales here. Now, where was I? Oh, one thing that doesn't happen often, and this is what I call the bank zones. Now take a look, guys. This was a critical area, which now, well, not now, 2 days ago, created for us this bank zone. Bank zone, oh, what did I do? Here, you see this one candle, guys, and then an inner level. This is bank zones. This is where we have tons of protections, tons of pendings, tons of money, depending on these levels. Bank zone is a big candle followed by normally, not always, normally same color candle but inner candle, like a little doji, like a little harami, but normally same candle or classical doji. And this is called a bank zone. That's where banks protect a lot of their orders, a lot of money involved. Okay, and put it there. Okay, so this is rare, but that means this is the invalidation, the biggest invalidation zone, while the sales expected to continue. New Zealand and Canadian, we wanted to sell rallies yesterday, right? That was our plan. Plan remains on. We got a bearish hidden divergence on the 4-hour chart. 1-hour chart rally. Now 1-hour chart did not provide us divergence on this rally, but we did have a cycle here. Take a look how it looks like, guys. Now this is a double cycle up, bouncing from 161.8, and the last leg is on lower time frames you can find would be triple cycle. So we got triple here, which is seen on the 15 minutes correction, and triple here. Classical conditions for trend continuation trading. Okay, classical conditions. Of course, news contribute that, but our direction was and remains this week bearish. Until when? Until only God of forex knows until when. We have it here, and we might have it even lower. Just want to remind you guys, that was a triple cycle to the upside. We can technically go all the way to 080. Do you see the potential here? It's huge, right? And that's basically, well, that's what we write. That's what we have. Questions about this one so far, guys? How many of you trade the New Zealand CAD, by the way? Aha, thank you for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all? 4? Just 4 trade the New Zealand CAD? Really? 5. Okay, okay. So what? Long? Why long? Oh. The short term we discussed yesterday, John. 6. Okay, Marcus, you are number 6 now. Okay, John, you see why the long decision was lucky enough? Now you probably see that, right? Now I probably see that. Yeah, it was a lucky call on the extreme. Be careful with that. Again, it's all about the news now, definitely, but we don't want to rely on luck, right? We want to do it correct. Okay, guys, let's continue, guys. Next one on the list, CAD franc. We started with the CADs. Let's continue CAD franc. Oh, here. Continuing its beautiful move up, the direction is back to bullish. So we are after buys here. We expect further rally. We have this monster triple cycle from monthly, so we at least expect the 38.2, probably even 50. Stay bullish. We have the break of the range on the weekly chart. As long as we hold here, our direction is bullish. Okay, we got a false break here, retraced. Now we have the breakout. The momentum is gained. As long as we hold and we don't close inside the range again, our pressure remains bullish and our directions is bullish. Same with Mr. CAD Yen, which seems returning to its direction, and we are back to bullish. This is why our next magnet zones, if it will lead us to, would be here, and this is 94, and this is also duplication level here. You see that magnet zones on 94. And guess what, guys? Believe it or not, remember what I told you yesterday? How do we create magnets? Right? We create the entire move of the big special cycle down we've had and the corrections, and guess what? See that? But first of all, we have a monster here. That would be 91. Then we have 94. So that would be our targets. We are after longs. How we invalidate our plan? We have the current trend line and the last lows to be protected and respected. As long as we are below here, as long as we are above here, you see what happens when Russian speaks English, right? Too much. That's what happens. I start to confuse words: above, below, below, above. As long as we are above this zone, we are after buys and aiming the 91, 94 areas. Okay, thank you, John. Thank you very much. So that's for CAD Yen. And the last one I have on my list is the Aussie versus the franc. We are for buys here for long term, but look what developed for us, guys. Here we had this triple cycle, 1, 2, 3, and we had a false break, and now we have a false break on the tops. Therefore, this range is possibly for second leg down. Until where? Until here. Triple cycle up, 50% correction is right here. So we have the Aussie franc, both directions possible. While we are in the range, we can expect another push to the downside. If we break it up and hold above, we continue with the trend line and we expect the further rally that should lead us and take us to, let's remove that. Remember this triple cycle again? 1, 2, 3. How ugly is that? Extremely ugly, but we still have the levels. We need at least the 38.2 and probably even 50. So that's a pretty ugly conditions because we are in all this correction. We are inside one big candle of the monthly, but on the lower time frames, daily and weekly, it is tradable. So our long is to 0.82 at least. Okay, so this is our range currently that we have on the 4-hour chart with 2 false break. Just once again, I want to remind you guys, how do we spot a trend, a range? Range comes at the end of a cycle, right? We had this triple, then false break on the tops. Here, sorry for my ugly writing, and that's basically where we have it. Okay, And as long as we are inside, we can expect a continuation. If we go and hold above, we are rallying, and probably our next target is the 082. So this is another additional pair joining our list. The rest unchanged. We have all in our list trading that. Some of them are moving very well, actually, providing some sexy schmexy opportunities. Especially the pound pairs that look not bad at all. Euro dollar is the only one that is like making hard times, right? But it's all good. New Zealand and yen, we spoke about it. New Zealand and yen, I've mentioned at the beginning. We have both directions acceptable, but look what happens currently. We are, you see, one candle here and one candle with the gap, and we are kind of stuck in all that inside. So that's what makes it, again, we accept both on the longer term cycles, but on the shorter term view, you can see that these conditions are not really tradable. Just want to remind you guys, we cannot make money on pairs that don't move. It doesn't matter how good your strategy is, or how talented your mentor is, or how great it looks like. When nothing is moving, we cannot make money, right? And currently the New Zealand yen is on that conditions. It's really in a bad place. We accept both, definitely, but we need clearer setups, clearer conditions, which we don't have currently. Okay? So, by the way, the New Zealand yen, I didn't see that, but someone sent me this email. This is an inverted wedge. Okay? Inverted wedge. That's a very, very good pattern to trade inside. From tops or from bottoms, guys, that's really, really nice pattern. With break above, it could be really good call. Here, Wolf trading, Wolf principles of trading, and I'm not a master of Wolf, sorry. But these are kind of the spots we are looking at. So if we have here, anyone knows the Wolf theory, guys? So this should be the targets for longs, which, by the way, makes sense. Why? Why? Because it's 38.2 of the double cycle correction. Huh? How classical. All comes together in one place, right? So if longs take control and we hold above this area, finally creating higher highs, then yes, we have it right here. That's above 80. Okay? My friend always tells me when we speak about it, he says that the Wolf theory is the one that make you to say "oh" when you trade, right? So that's the Wolf theory. No, just joking. That's a theory based on patterns mainly. There are many theories in the market. Of course, we cannot trade them all, but it's good. It's good to be aware, and I'm just aware. You know, I never develop. I never was good enough to develop my skills in other theories. Unfortunately, I tried Elliott waves, tried it with Nikola many times, and I that's not for me, guys. I just don't do that well. I tried patterns. Seriously, besides cycles with divergence convergential principles, I guess that if not that, I couldn't make money from the forex. I'm lucky that I was able to work for the hedge fund house and discover these numbers patterns that visually present us the cycles, right? But behind the scenes, it's all the patterns that the big money builds. So I'm lucky enough I discovered that. Probably without that, I couldn't I couldn't survive and couldn't become profitable trader in the forex market. Well, thanks, cycles. Cycles rocks. If you ask me, that's the best. If you ask Elliott Wave what he thinks about cycles, he will tell you, too general. Because Elliott, guys, needs the very, very specific conditions. I need the money flow. I need the money flow. I need to know where the money switches hands. I need to know where the big money is in play, where momentum is gained. Sorry guys, that's me. That's what I have to offer. Okay, friends, so if there is no question, if you have questions, please raise it now. I can give a microphone if anyone wants to ask a question and not to write it, ask it by voice. That would be a good idea, and of course I can give you the microphone and we can talk. So if anyone wants that, so please let me know. All right, it seems the answer is no, as for today, right? Guys, thank you very much for being here. We have the updates, right? We have the new add-ons, so let's follow them and see how Mr. Market ping us with that. Enjoy your day. I'll see you in the groups later. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.